to Wrocław. For us, this is also a celebration of community that we are gathering together, exchanging ideas and sharing what we know, the experience, the news that are coming from software vendors and the wisdom that we've got from our jobs.
Miejsce, w którym trzeba być, jeżeli zajmujemy się danymi, pracujemy z danymi na co dzień i chcemy poznać ludzi, którzy w tym obszarze się poruszają. Idealna okazja na to, aby poznać prelegentów polskich, zagranicznych, a może nawet być samym prelegentem, prelegentką w trakcie kolejnego SQLDay.
Kolejny raz przyjechałem po to, żeby zapoznać się, jakie są nowości ze SQL-em, poznać nowych ludzi i dobrze spędzić miło czas.
Jest generalnie fantastycznie. Chciałbym Was zaprosić w przyszłym roku z dwóch powodów. Po pierwsze, będzie to 16. edycja SQLDaya, czyli magiczna liczba dla informatyków, a dla mnie personalnie 10.
Przerwy to jest chyba najważniejszy element konferencji według mnie. Networking, spotkania, rozmowy o bardzo wielu rzeczach, o bardzo wielu technologiach, o tym co nas czeka, o architekturze, to jest najbardziej cenna rzecz na konferencji.
Jako wolontariusze podczas konferencji łączymy przyjemne z pożytecznym, pomagamy w organizacji, jak również uczestniczymy w ciekawych sesjach.
Na konferencję przyjechałem po to, żeby pogłębić swoją wiedzę z analizy danych. Spotkałem wielu wybitnych prelegentów. Moje oczekiwania zostały spełnione w 100%.
Welcome, all of you!
Jak zawsze wspaniała organizacja, wspaniały poziom sesji, prelegenci z całej Europy, z całego świata, bo również ze Stanów Zjednoczonych. Dlatego zapraszam bardzo serdecznie.
Wszystko spełnia nasze oczekiwania i jest dużo lepiej niż zakładaliśmy.
Liczymy, że pojawimy się tutaj jeszcze raz, na pewno poznaliśmy parę nowych rzeczy, jest parę rzeczy, których chcieliśmy się jeszcze nauczyć. Fajna zajawka, polecamy każdemu.
We've met for the 15th time on a SQLDay, and it looks like this is an event that people are waiting for a whole year to come over to Wrocław. For us, this is also a celebration of community that we are gathering together, exchanging ideas and sharing what we know, the experience, the news that are coming from software vendors and the wisdom that we've got from our jobs.
Miejsce, w którym trzeba być, jeżeli zajmujemy się danymi, pracujemy z danymi na co dzień i chcemy poznać ludzi, którzy w tym obszarze się poruszają. Idealna okazja na to, aby poznać prelegentów polskich, zagranicznych, a może nawet być samym prelegentem, prelegentką w trakcie kolejnego SQLDay.
Kolejny raz przyjechałem po to, żeby zapoznać się, jakie są nowości ze SQL-em, poznać nowych ludzi i dobrze spędzić miło czas.
Jest generalnie fantastycznie. Chciałbym Was zaprosić w przyszłym roku z dwóch powodów. Po pierwsze, będzie to 16. edycja SQLDaya, czyli magiczna liczba dla informatyków, a dla mnie personalnie 10.
Przerwy to jest chyba najważniejszy element konferencji według mnie. Networking, spotkania, rozmowy o bardzo wielu rzeczach, o bardzo wielu technologiach, o tym co nas czeka, o architekturze, to jest najbardziej cenna rzecz na konferencji.
Jako wolontariusze podczas konferencji łączymy przyjemne z pożytecznym, pomagamy w organizacji, jak również uczestniczymy w ciekawych sesjach.
Na konferencję przyjechałem po to, żeby pogłębić swoją wiedzę z analizy danych. Spotkałem wielu wybitnych prelegentów. Moje oczekiwania zostały spełnione w 100%.
Welcome, all of you!
Jak zawsze wspaniała organizacja, wspaniały poziom sesji, prelegenci z całej Europy, z całego świata, bo również ze Stanów Zjednoczonych. Dlatego zapraszam bardzo serdecznie.
Wszystko spełnia nasze oczekiwania i jest dużo lepiej niż zakładaliśmy.
Liczymy, że pojawimy się tutaj jeszcze raz, na pewno poznaliśmy parę nowych rzeczy, jest parę rzeczy, których chcieliśmy się jeszcze nauczyć. Fajna zajawka, polecamy każdemu.
We've met for the 15th time on a SQL Day, and it looks like this is an event that people are waiting for a whole year to come over to Wrocław. For us, this is also a celebration of community that we are gathering together, exchanging ideas and sharing what we know, the experience, the news that are coming from software vendors, and the wisdom that we've got from our jobs.
Miejsce, w którym trzeba być, jeżeli zajmujemy się danymi, pracujemy z danymi na co dzień i chcemy poznać ludzi, którzy w tym obszarze się poruszają. Idealna okazja na to, aby poznać prelegentów polskich, zagranicznych, a może nawet być samym prelegentem, prelegentką w trakcie kolejnego SQL Day.
Kolejny raz przyjechałem po to, żeby zapoznać się, jakie są nowości ze SQL-em, poznać nowych ludzi i dobrze spędzić miło czas.
Jest generalnie fantastycznie. Chciałbym Was zaprosić w przyszłym roku z dwóch powodów. Po pierwsze, będzie to 16. edycja SQL Day'a, czyli magiczna liczba dla informatyków, a dla mnie personalnie 10.
Przerwy to jest chyba najważniejszy element konferencji według mnie. Networking, spotkania, rozmowy o bardzo wielu rzeczach, o bardzo wielu technologiach, o tym, co nas czeka, o architekturze, to jest najbardziej cenna rzecz na konferencji.
Jako wolontariusze podczas konferencji łączymy przyjemne z pożytecznym, pomagamy w organizacji, jak również uczestniczymy w ciekawych sesjach.
Na konferencję przyjechałem po to, żeby pogłębić swoją wiedzę z analizy danych. Spotkałem wielu wybitnych prelegentów. Moje oczekiwania zostały spełnione w 100%.
Welcome, all of you.
Jak zawsze wspaniała organizacja, wspaniały poziom sesji, prelegenci z całej Europy, z całego świata, bo również ze Stanów Zjednoczonych. Dlatego zapraszam bardzo serdecznie.
Wszystko spełnia nasze oczekiwania i jest dużo lepiej niż zakładaliśmy.
Liczymy, że pojawimy się tutaj jeszcze raz, na pewno poznaliśmy parę nowych rzeczy, jest parę rzeczy, których chcieliśmy się jeszcze nauczyć. Fajna zajawka, polecamy każdemu.
We've met for the 15th time on a SQL Day, and it looks like this is an event that people are waiting for a whole year to come over to Wrocław. For us, this is also a celebration of community that we are gathering together, exchanging ideas and sharing what we know, the experience, the news that are coming from software vendors, and the wisdom that we've got from our jobs.
Miejsce, w którym trzeba być, jeżeli zajmujemy się danymi, pracujemy z danymi na co dzień i chcemy poznać ludzi, którzy w tym obszarze się poruszają. Idealna okazja na to, aby poznać prelegentów polskich, zagranicznych, a może nawet być samym prelegentem, prelegentką w trakcie kolejnego SQL Day.
Kolejny raz przyjechałem po to, żeby zapoznać się, jakie są nowości ze SQL-em, poznać nowych ludzi i dobrze spędzić miło czas.
Jest generalnie fantastycznie. Chciałbym Was zaprosić w przyszłym roku z dwóch powodów. Po pierwsze, będzie to 16. edycja SQL Day'a, czyli magiczna liczba dla informatyków, a dla mnie personalnie 10.
Przerwy to jest chyba najważniejszy element konferencji według mnie. Networking, spotkania, rozmowy o bardzo wielu rzeczach, o bardzo wielu technologiach, o tym, co nas czeka, o architekturze, to jest najbardziej cenna rzecz na konferencji.
Jako wolontariusze podczas konferencji łączymy przyjemne z pożytecznym, pomagamy w organizacji, jak również uczestniczymy w ciekawych sesjach.
Na konferencję przyjechałem po to, żeby pogłębić swoją wiedzę z analizy danych. Spotkałem wielu wybitnych prelegentów. Moje oczekiwania zostały spełnione w 100%.
Good morning, Wrocław! Yoo-hoo! So, my name is Hubert Kobyszewski and we are starting SQL Day. The month of May, it reminds me three things. One, good sunshine weather. Second, my wedding anniversary. Very important thing to do. Third thing is like loads of data, people gathering in one place. And this event is organized by our Data Community Association. And who is the first time here? Raise your hands. Okay, so there is a short information for you. That we, first of all, we are not any religious sect, and this is a quote from our friend Paweł Potasiński. We are just a bunch of people who like to work with data. This event was organized by also a huge team of organizers. It's like 30 people volunteering, also like program committee, and also few other contractors which are helping us to make this event great. And what we do also as a community, as a data community, it's not only this event, we are also active as local meetup organizers. We've also done Data Saturday. So if you didn't know that we exist, find out if there's any event around you. Maybe you can meet us more often than once a year. Another thing to make yourself familiar with our organization is our website, datacommunity.pl. And we are present on all major social media platforms. We've been active for many, many years, so you can see that we've got pretty much good crowd of our fans. It's 6,500 people who are on our meetup website, because this is where this is your starting point when you want to try to find where we are and where we organize our local meetings. And today we've got 59 speakers. Among of them, we've got this gentleman, James Serra. And we've got 49 sessions throughout 2 days, so plenty of wisdom, plenty of knowledge, plenty of practical examples, experiences to share. Another thing is that we've relaunched Ask the Experts booth, you can say it like a booth. There's a place where people having different expertise, they are going to come over. You can ask them any question that that kind of bothers you. You cannot sleep because of problems that you've met at your work, something like that. Go there, ask questions, and maybe there's going to be salvation for you or something like that. We've got also community lounge. So if you want to talk about our meetings, you don't know where to go and when those meetings are going to happen, then next to Ask the Experts booth, you can meet our leaders. There are going to be leaders from practically all of the cities that we are active in. And we've got also a bonus session for you, not only these 49 breakthrough sessions. Today, after all of those sessions, in room D, there is an arena of architects. And those who want to have a more direct contact with Microsoft experts, you should go there to room D, and this is going to be like at 6:30 p.m. So if you want to like ask maybe for a feature or when that particular feature is going to be available, or you got some problems or some questions, then go there. Microsoft people are going to be there, and Microsoft architects or people who specialize in Microsoft technologies. And today, after this is going to be like maybe 6:15, in the big room which is opposite of this conference center, we are going to gather, and we have a party until midnight or maybe even a bit longer. And without sponsors, of course, any big conference wouldn't be nothing. So I'd like to invite representatives from the companies that they support us. And the first one is Lingaro. Marcin, come over.
Hello, everybody. My name is Marcin Cybulski, and I'm here with a great pleasure to introduce to you Lingaro, end-to-end data services partner for big brands and enterprises. At the beginning, I would like to show my gratitude to the organizers for creating this great community. And I would like to appreciate all of you who came here, who are watching us online, for your hunger for knowledge, for hunger for connection, and for spending the next 15 minutes listening to the story of Lingaro. Story of a small company, Polish company, who over 15 years was able to grow significantly and become a major player in the market. For me, this story began with a phone call. I got a phone call from my friend, and he asked me, I have this new company, Lingaro, would you like to join? I asked him, yeah, sure, I could consider. So I imagine I need to meet with your HR team. He said, no, we don't have HR yet. So I asked him, okay, so I just come to your office and talk with you. Actually, we don't have office yet. Okay, so I asked him, by any chance, do you have any clients? He said, yeah, we have one. Okay, I'm in. Actually, it was not an easy decision for me. I was working as SQL developer in an American corporation, and I had to choose between the stable career and known path, and between joining those few guys in Lingaro with a great unknown and not knowing what the story will bring. And I decided to join Lingaro. Of course, I need to ask my wife first about this. I was the fifth employee, and from that moment I was able to observe and also strongly contribute to the amazing growth of this company. Today, after 16 years, we have office. Actually, we have a couple of them all around the world. In Poland, Philippines, India, Singapore, Switzerland, USA, and Mexico. Over this time, we were able also to acquire two other companies. One was Orba from Poland, and another one was e-Business Institute from Switzerland. We started our journey with services around data integration, data warehousing, and as you can imagine today, we have a much broader scope of the services that we offer. From the technical perspective, we provide data strategy, data engineering, data management. We have a very strong team around data science and artificial intelligence. We also provide support 24/7 and, of course, BI reporting. We have also the business side, where we have business consulting, in areas of supply chain analytics, consumer analytics, digital commerce. We have digital agency, and more. Today, I'm responsible for data engineering and data management competency in role of director and head of those competencies, and I have around 250 people. This amazing growth would not be possible without great people that we have on board. And there is something really special about Lingaro that allows us to attract very talented and skilled people and to keep them in our company, and in some cases, if they are leaving, to get them back. We are a great place to work, and this is not only the slogan that we use. We were recognized many times by this prestigious organization, Great Place to Work, in Poland and in Philippines. And here on the screen, you can see some comments from our employees, what they appreciate most in Lingaro. This is very supportive culture. Our employees feel valued and trusted, the freedom to work from home, and great collaboration. A couple of years back, we were wondering what are our values, what is there that we are driven by, what are the values that are unspoken, that make us such successful. We had a workshop and we discovered those 5 core values that we are driven by. The first one is technology excellence. In Lingaro, we strive to have the best expertise in what we do, and working for Fortune 500 companies, global leaders. Those companies are the ones that are having huge expectations, tons of data, very complex business problems, and very smart people who have vision to build solutions for which they need trusted partners to deliver them. This creates an environment in which we need those very highly skilled people to be able to solve the problems that nobody solved before, to push the technology that we use to the limits, and to grow on the projects, working with experts and exchanging the knowledge. From the technical perspective, in context of this conference, the technology that we use most is Microsoft Azure, Databricks, and there is many more technologies that we use. And the second core value is customer focus. So we are really freaks when it comes to customer satisfaction. Today we work for over 80 enterprises in such sectors as consumer goods, manufacturing, retail, luxury, and life services. This high level of customer satisfaction was recognized by such prestigious organizations like Everest Group and Gartner. What is great is that many times we are able to build a very strong, deep relations with our customers that are based on trust and respect, and this creates an environment in which gives a lot of satisfaction to our employees. Another one is the autonomy. So we give as much freedom as possible to our employees and our managers to do the work not only in the way that is good for us, for the company, but in the way that is good for them. With this great autonomy comes great responsibility, but also great satisfaction from work and great motivation. The next one is no barriers. So we focus on very direct, open communication, avoiding the unneeded bureaucracy. And the next one is the collaboration. I think this one and the first one are the ones that our employees value the most. In Lingaro, whenever you have a problem, you can always count that you will find somebody who will help you. And over all those years, I experienced this a lot, both sides. When I needed help, there was always somebody who was eager to help me, and the other way around as well. Now, there are two more things I would like to mention that are very important for us. The first one is the Sustainable Development Goals. So internally, we focused on 3 of them, which is health and well-being, gender equality, and climate action. And there are 11 more that we focus on externally. And another thing is diversity, equity, and inclusion. So recently we took it for another level. This is a strategic topic for us. As a responsible and ethical employer, we believe that this is not only the right thing to do to take care about the diversity and inclusion, but it also allows us to build more performing teams. And everybody in Lingaro can feel safe, no matter what background, what perspectives he or she is having. So I have only 2 more slides, so now I want you to focus. I would like to invite you to the session of Szymon Lasota, our Azure Solution Architect. It will be at 3:30 in room C. It will be about the monitoring and optimization of Azure SQL. And I would like to invite you to our stand to connect with us, to connect with me. I will be here for the next 2 days, and to connect with our employees. Who is from Lingaro here? Okay, it's more than when I joined Lingaro. Welcome, guys. Okay, and if you were interested in our story, and you are wondering what will happen with us within a year, 2, 3, 5 years, this is the code to follow us on LinkedIn. And if you would like to be a part of this story, those are the positions that we are hiring right now. And at the end, there is a code to connect with me on LinkedIn. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Marcin. Thank you very much. And the next sponsor that I would like to invite on the stage is Volvo. And Patricia and Tomasz, please come over. This is your power, and this is your power to speak.
Hello, everyone.
Welcome, everybody. Good morning. I hope you are enjoying this event so far. My name is Patrycja Urbańska. I've been in the data world quite a while, but this is my first time here participating in this event. Mainly, I was taking part in the master data activities. Today, I'm proud to represent Volvo Group, Digital and IT. As a digital product area owner, I'm responsible for the several applications storing the master data across the entire Volvo Group. Besides my daily duties, I'm also trying to support women in tech world. So I'm really glad and actually super happy to see so many women on board today. Thank you. And I'm here with Tomek, my colleague, who will introduce himself.
Hey, my name is Tomasz Bronik. I'm chapter lead data engineer. Around 20 years of experience around IT on different positions. Last 6.5 at Volvo, lately as a data engineer chapter lead. But the meeting is not about us. Let's see some short movie about Volvo as an introduction.
Welcome, all of you.
case. Something happened with sound, so you couldn't see the music, but you hear the music, but okay.
Yeah, seems that we missed the sound. Anyway, before we will move to the details and giving you more information about what we are doing, first question is, do you recognize this special type of lights? Is anyone can raise a hand? Perfect. Many of you probably may associate this unique shape, but the first impression probably is that, this is the guys that will be talking about the Volvo this way, but the answer is totally not. Actually, we don't produce cars.
Yes, and even yesterday someone asked me if we have an office in Krakow. So no, it's not us, it's Volvo Cars, so it's like we have the same grandfather, I could say. We produce toys for bigger toys for big boys, like trucks, for instance, our main business, 67% of revenue, and FH16 7050. As you can notice by name, it can have 16-liter engine, 750 horsepower, and 2,500 Newton-meters of torque, being able to carry heavy duty, like 180 tons of cargo. Construction equipment, you can see it around the world. Buses, it's Volvo and also Prevost. You can see boat, but we do not produce boat, we produce engine for boats. Finance services, of course, if you would like to buy engine, bus or truck, you don't need to bring suitcase with money. We can lend you money and secure finance for it. Argus, this is a small business. We produce vehicles and solutions for Swedish Army. And last but not least, from the list is Volvo Energy. So as a Volvo, we aim to be green company, produce fossil-free vehicles, not only cars, but also what might be surprising for you, buses and even trucks. But you may be wondering now what we are doing here if we produce bus, trucks and so on, and we are on SQLDay. Well, Patricia can elaborate more.
Yeah, it doesn't matter actually with which business do you recognize seeing the Volvo logo. Data plays key role in enabling Volvo Group ambition for 2030, because this is our goal, to achieve the services and solutions according to the digital transformation by 2030. And how we are going to do? We are going to move from the data known by few experts to the common understanding of the data through the data assets, data catalog, available and accessed easily by everyone. And how to do it? We trust that the agile, this is the way of working that we're supposed to follow. So we are planning ceremonies, doing all the priorities according to the business expectations within the stable team framework. We, of course, trust that the AI needs to be there, so it's in place, it's growing and growing. More solutions also based on cloud. And in case of the data, of course, we are taking care of the data management of the product. So we believe that the data analysis, everything what is related to the data science is really important. So to predict and manage properly the portfolio of the products. And of course, why we are here, because we trust that the new technologies are also really important and needs to be in place, so we are taking care of them.
And about the size, we are little bigger than Lingaro, having 110,000 employees around the world. I'm not going to mention each country, it's going to take half an hour. 85,000 employees, 25,000 consultants and trainees. We are in different companies, different part of the world.
Yes, exactly. Here in Wrocław, you will find us in Medlana Street. And of course, here locally during the event, you can also visit us on the stand over here and to check everything what sounds to be interesting using the LinkedIn and ask about the open positions because we have several of them. Thank you.
Thank you.
Volvo, thank you very much. Thanks, Emil. Thanks, Emil. Cheers. So the next sponsor that I would like to invite is SoftwareOne, and Christopher from SoftwareOne, please come over. Here you go, and this is for you.
Okay, multitasking, two things in one time. It's my first stage on the stage. I'm participating in SQL Day third time, but it's the first time on this stage, so I have privilege to talk a little bit about the SoftwareOne. The company probably that you don't know too much right now, but I'd like to give you some insights about our company. So SoftwareOne is a Swiss company that started his business 30 years ago, and mostly it was the business that's selling the software. Right now, we are serving to our customers more than 60,000 clients all over the world. And from 10 years, SoftwareOne is acquiring companies to provide the professional services. And 2 years ago, SoftwareOne acquired a company that calls Predica, and it builds pretty strong, I would say, competencies in Poland. So we are growing, we are building more and more professional services to our customers. What is our hidden superpower as a SoftwareOne is that we are very good in licensing. So especially right now, if you are working with different clouds, we can help you with optimizing the cost of the clouds, but also cost of the license. But this is only one of our strengths. Speaking about the data team, there is more than 200 data engineers and data scientists in SoftwareOne. We are having 7 delivery centers that people are delivering the project all over the world. We are mostly focusing on Microsoft technologies, but also serving AWS and Google Cloud. So we try to serve, let's say, all major hyperscalers to our customers. We believe in SoftwareOne that the good foundation for data project is crucial. So we develop our approach that starts with advisory, helps our customers to understand where they'd like to gain in terms of the data. And then we are building a solid foundations in infrastructure, security. We are trying to encourage our customers to have a good quality of data, because otherwise, as you know, the data project may fail. And then we are delivering the project. So this is our approach, that we try to educate our customers to follow these steps. Sometimes our customers like to start from let's say topics, but sometimes it's possible, but sometimes they need to make a step back. So we believe that this is the right approach. Speaking about the XDC Warsaw, because we're representing XDC Warsaw, my role is a data and AI delivery lead for XDC Warsaw. And this is a core team that serves not only data, but also application services, infrastructure and security, and also Office 365 solutions. And there are more than 300 people in Poland. We have 4 locations. One is in Wrocław, but we have also Toruń, Bydgoszcz, Warsaw, and Kraków. And our data team, which is more than 60 people right now, is serving different projects to different brands. We are the data let's say, engineers that helps business to transform, to get most of the data, to build the best solutions, but we are serving it to different industries. It's a retail, pharmacy, or telco. And this is only the brands that is a project from last year, so not the whole, let's say, portfolio. And we are working mostly with Microsoft tools, but we are, as you see, mostly cloud solutions, but also we are starting working also with AWS projects, so we try to offer what is let's say most suitable for our customers in terms of a technology. And yes, today we have two speakers from SoftwareOne. I played a little bit yesterday with DALI, so I'd like to invite you to the two sessions. One session will be led by Artur Dalak about analysis services at scale today. And tomorrow you can meet Paweł Ek and learn some about implementation, lesson learned from LLMs. So this is our speakers. And last thing, I'd like to connect with us on our stand, which is the next when you go out from this auditorium, and you can test your knowledge. You can win this educational robot, but it's pretty powerful. So please join our stand. You can play also chess with Paweł, and you can try your in a content. Tomorrow at 2 p.m. there will be an announcement of the results for this contest. So I wish you all the good conference, and see you in the hall.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Chris. So that was another gold sponsor that supports us, and we also have a third gold sponsor, which is DXC Technology. Do we have anyone who wants to come over on the stage from DXC? Not yet, not this year. Okay, so we also have other sponsors which supports us. It's Accenture, it's NordCloud, Capgemini, TIDK, EliteMind, and CNF, and you can visit their booths there in the foyer. We of course thank all sponsors for being here, for supporting us, for happening. This makes this event much better than it would be without them. So when I switched from application development to data analysis, there was one blog which I was jumping in very often. And that guy introduced me to MDX and to multidimensional databases. And today I wanted to invite on the stage a person who is related to data analysis, to Microsoft technologies related with data analysis for many years. He was working on his own for a long time and recently joined CAT, Customer Advisory Team in Microsoft. And today I want to invite Chris Webb on the stage. Chris. Okay, that's for you. Good. One second. Good. Yes.
Yes, you are live.
Cool. Thank you. Welcome, everybody. It's lovely to be here. I've already been introduced, but let me explain a little bit about where I come from. So, as we've already heard, I'm an old analysis services person. I then turned into a Power BI person. Is there anybody who likes Power BI here? Yeah, that's good. That's good. I'm going to rely on the fact that you know what Power BI is a little bit later. And then I turned into a Fabric person. You know, the team I joined was the Power BI customer advisory team, and now I work on the Fabric customer advisory team. And as the name of the team suggests, I advise customers about Fabric. And at this stage of Fabric's life cycle, a lot of what I do is to try and explain what Fabric is. So that's what I'm going to talk about today. Now, who here has already heard about Fabric? That is good. That is good. Because I spent a lot of time talking about Fabric and explaining Fabric, and by now I think, you know, everybody has kind of heard about Fabric, and they kind of think, well, yeah, I already know what Fabric is. But what is there left to say? What is there left to say in a keynote? Let me try and justify myself. So, normally, when I would do a session like this and try and explain what Fabric is, there is a series of slides that we have. You know what it's like in big companies. There's the same slide deck that everybody steals from and recycles. My colleagues down at the front, they're laughing because they use the same slide deck. And what we do with this slide deck is we kind of start off like this, and we start off talking about AI. This is the executive pitch, because of course the only way that you will get the money to upgrade that SQL Server 7 on-prem data warehouse and take it to the cloud is to talk about AI. So AI is changing the world, and of course, if you're going to do AI, you need to have data. Right, that's good. And then, blah-de-blah-de-blah-de-blah-de-blah. You know, we get through a whole bunch of other slides showing all of the kind of, you know, complexities of the modern data stack and everything. And we get to a slide like this. This is a great slide. You know, I use this diagram all the time because it sums up what Fabric is in a kind of great technical, slightly boring way. It shows you that Fabric is a single software as a service platform. It has all of this great functionality in it. It's got ETL, data engineering. It's got, you know, a highly scalable warehouse engine in it. It's got data science. It's got Spark. It's got notebooks. It's got Power BI in it. It's got some new things, Data Activator. If you want to learn about Data Activator, come along to Lars's session, last thing tomorrow. It's got AI in it all over the place. And it's a single platform. You store all of your data in one place, in one format. All of the workloads can share all of that data. Soon, we will have one security as well, where you apply your security once, and you know, that applies to all of the workloads. And you know, this is great. This is the end of the presentation about Fabric. And I'm sure if you've seen a presentation about Fabric, you have seen this slide and you've understood all of these messages, and you know, that's perfect. And usually I would say, if I've got to the point of this slide, three things would have happened. One of three things would have happened. First of all, if you're a big Microsoft fan, you know, we're all big Microsoft fans here, I hope, you'd have probably like signed up for your free Fabric trial already and started playing with it. That's good. Alternatively, you might be on the phone to your Snowflake or Oracle or Databricks account rep asking for a discount. because there's something cool coming along from Microsoft, and I'm going to check this out unless you give me a discount. Well, that's probably quite a good outcome as well. Or third, your eyes have glazed over, you've got bored, you had one too many vodkas at the party last night, and you're on your phone and you've just given up. And that to me would be a big failure. And I can see all of you who are on your phone right now. Now, when I was doing a presentation like this recently, something different happened, something unexpected, and it made me think. Because I showed this slide, and somebody said, yeah, I know what Fabric is. I know exactly what Fabric is. Do you know what Fabric is? It's this. It's a Happy Meal. This is a technical marketing term. Because all you've done is you've just taken that same old technology that you all had before, and you've bundled it up together in one easy-to-purchase package with some nice, shiny marketing, and you're selling it to me. At this point, I realized two things. First of all, he was kind of right, but actually he was wrong. And secondly, if you're trying to explain something like Fabric, especially to a kind of hardened technical audience like you, sometimes it's better to kind of make comparisons with the things that you already know to explain the things that you don't know. Because I've realized that actually, even after a year of trying to explain Fabric, a lot of people who've seen those kind of boring technical slides think they understand Fabric, but they don't always get the messages that we want to bring across. So what I want to do for the next 20 minutes or so is to try and make some comparisons between the things you do know and with Fabric to try and help you understand a bit more about Fabric. But let's stay with a Happy Meal first of all, because there are some lessons that we can learn about Fabric from the Happy Meal. And, if we think about a Happy Meal, what are the bits of the Happy Meal? And if we think about Fabric, what are the parts of Fabric? So, this is the slide I'm going to be showing a lot. If we think about Power BI, because we know what Power BI is, and we think about Fabric, Power BI is to Fabric like the fries are to a Happy Meal. Because when you get a Happy Meal, you always get the fries, don't you? Yeah, it's like the core thing. It's maybe not the whole bit of the Happy Meal, but it's the core thing. But there's other things going on inside a Happy Meal. Because you have a choice. Do you go for the burger? And here on this slide, I will make the comparison between the burger and the warehouse experience inside Fabric. Or do you go for the chicken McNuggets? Which here, I'm comparing to the data engineering and Spark experience. Because with Fabric, you also have a choice, and it's a choice that customers ask me all the time. They say, hey, Chris, I can do all of these things inside Fabric, but which one should I be doing? Should I be building a kind of traditional SQL warehouse? Or should I be doing that kind of cool lakehouse approach? The answer is, it's up to you. Are you a nuggets person or are you a burger person? Personally, I'm quite old school, and maybe I lean to more the traditional warehouse thing. But I don't know if this kind of resonates, but my kids, when they were younger and they were buying Happy Meals, they always went for the nuggets. And maybe, it's a kind of generational thing. The kids today, all of you young people out there who are getting into Fabric, they seem to prefer the Lakehouse Spark type approach. Of course, there's one more thing inside a Happy Meal we need to consider. And again, those of you who are parents will know that it's the key thing that causes you to buy the Happy Meal in the first place. It's that plastic toy, the thing you can't actually eat, but the main reason that your kids always want the plastic toy. And what's that? That's going to be Copilot. Because we know We know the people who make the buying decisions in your organization, who may not be sitting here, they're the ones who are very, very excited about the potential of generation of LLMs. I'm being a little bit silly here. But I looked at all of this and I thought, okay, the Happy Meal is quite a good comparison, but there must be a better comparison to make. There are better things that we can use to explain Fabric. So let's start again. Let's start again at the beginning, and let's think about what Power BI is and what Fabric is. And I kind of thought, well, okay, if we're comparing Power BI to Fabric, maybe what we can do is compare Excel to, well, I want to say Office, but it's not called Office anymore. It's called Microsoft 365. But we all know it as Office, don't we? Now, a long time ago, when you wanted to buy a word processor or a spreadsheet or some slideshow software or even a kind of little database to run on your desktop PC, you went out and bought all of these things separately. And then somebody, some marketing genius at Microsoft, realized that the people who were going out and buying and using spreadsheets and word processors and slideshow software, they were all the same people. They were information workers. So why bother to go and buy all of these things separately when we can bundle them all together like a Happy Meal and create something called Office? So that's what Microsoft did, and it was very, very successful. So it was a classic bundling exercise, but actually there was more to Office, especially now. There is a lot more going on with Office. And this is why I think it's a better comparison to make for Fabric. Because if you think about Office and the Office products, they do make a platform. You think about the ribbon interface in Excel. If you know how to use the ribbon in Excel and you open up Word, it's familiar. It's the same interface. It's the same UI. All of the Office experiences all work in the same way. And they're all very, very user-friendly. They're all aimed at the people who are using information for work. And this is why I think Fabric to Office is a really good comparison. There's another important thing to point out. Because a lot of people today are already using the Azure Data Platform. And like I said, if you look at that Fabric diagram, you see all of those components of Fabric, and you think, well, how is it all different? You know, how is using Azure Data Factory or Azure Analysis Services or Custo different from Fabric? And I would say a different, or the comparison to make, is it's like running your own mail server versus just using Microsoft 365. Because let's face it, does anybody really want to run their own mail server nowadays? Does anybody want to run email on premises? Well, probably not, because it's time consuming. You get lots and lots of control for sure, but you don't really want that control. You don't want all of that hassle of having to maintain and patch and upgrade and look after and buy the hardware for a mail server. You just want a software as a service platform that works so you can get on with the most important things, which is like sending email. And that's true of Fabric. That's one of the key things to understand about Fabric. As data professionals, sometimes we love to configure. We like to play with all of the knobs and switches, and we want to kind of get our hands dirty with that side of things. But actually, the point of our job is to analyze data. And if you can have a software as a service platform like Fabric, which just works, and if you want to spin up a new database, you click a button and it appears, that, I think, is the most important thing, because it saves so much friction. And this is what we hear a lot from customers and especially consultancies who are starting to use Fabric. Where in the past, if you wanted to get going on a proof of concept, it would take a couple of weeks to get permissions to set up all the infrastructure in the cloud, get everything all hooked up together, get all the permissions and things sorted out. In Fabric, once you have Fabric enabled and you have your capacity spun up, which can be done in a couple of minutes, you can then get on with the real work. And of course, there's another really obvious comparison we can make between Fabric and Office, because at the heart of Fabric is OneLake, the single place you store all of your data. And there is an obvious comparison, even in the name, which is OneDrive. Whoever thought of the name OneLake was thinking about it as OneDrive for your data. Because if you want to store data in a place that can be shared easily with other people, if it's going to be an Office document or if it's going to be any type of document, something like OneDrive is the obvious choice. You don't, again, want to be dealing with your own file sharing services or anything. You want everything built in, easy as possible. And if you're using Office, you build a workbook or a Word document, you save it in OneDrive, it's super easy to share it with other people. And that is the same with OneLake within Fabric. If you're working with data, whatever application you're using, you save it to OneLake, it's there, easily shareable, and in a format that everybody else can consume, but with the appropriate security applied. And there's another thing. Notebooks inside Fabric. Notebooks used to be something that I think only the kind of data scientists really cared about. And notebooks are massively, massively popular in that community. But to the kind of database world or to the Power BI world, we kind of knew about notebooks, but we didn't really care about them. But if you think about notebooks going to Fabric, they're kind of like now VBA is to Office. So bear with me. There is a serious point here. Because VBA was the glue that brought Office together. It was the thing that automated everything. And what we're seeing now with Fabric is that notebooks are not just the kind of glue, the kind of programming experience for the data scientists. What we've got coming up, recently announced, are T-SQL notebooks. So if you're a warehouse developer, a kind of traditional SQL developer, you can write T-SQL inside notebooks. For me as a Power BI person, I would say the most compelling reason for anybody who is just using purely Power BI to turn on Fabric is to be able to use notebooks and something called semantic link, which allows you to do things like refresh your Power BI semantic models with a lot more control, refresh individual tables, use all of the advanced options. You can create new tables. You can create new partitions. One of the things that was always missing inside Power BI traditionally was something like VBA, to be able to have that kind of advanced programming, automation, refreshing options. And that's there now with Fabric and notebooks and semantic link. And then, of course, we do have to talk about Copilot and Fabric. And of course, what's the obvious comparison? But seriously, Clippy was invented for a reason. I know everybody likes to joke about Clippy, but the reason that Clippy was invented was, I'm not sure how scientific this is, but there was, a well-known statistic that about, everybody who used Office only ever used 20% of the functionality. And when the Office team went out and asked people what it was that they were missing from Office, what features they wanted in Excel or Word, most of the time, the features that people asked for were the features that were already there that people just didn't know how to use or didn't know existed. And I think that's true of Fabric as well. There's an immense amount of power, but for any one person, it's too much. For me, as a Power BI person learning Fabric, I struggle to learn everything. I don't think anybody can learn absolutely everything. So I need a bit of help. And that is what Copilot gives me. So Copilot does not make me, as a kind of expert Power Query person, better at Power Query, but it will make me more productive. It'll help me to do things faster with the tools that I know. But maybe more importantly, for me as somebody who actually doesn't really know any Python, it helps me get going faster with my learning, to generate code, to allow me to do things that actually I didn't know how to do before. So Copilot is a really important part of Fabric to help democratize data, to allow people to get going with technologies and languages that they just didn't know before. But there's another comparison we can make, another aspect of Fabric that I think needs to be highlighted, that isn't really very obvious, perhaps because it's a part of the Fabric story that hasn't really developed properly yet. So, if we think about that comparison between Power BI and Fabric once again, I thought Fabric is very much like the Nintendo Switch. Is anybody here a really hardcore gamer? There's usually going to be some people in an audience like this. All right, 1 or 2 people. Who here has ever played games casually on their phones or on a Nintendo Switch or something like this? Yeah. I'm sure the rest of you have played some games sometimes. I find that hard to believe. And I think comparing Fabric to the Nintendo Switch is actually a really interesting thing. First of all, if you're Nintendo, you do 2 things which are very much intertwined. You are launching a platform, the games console. But you cannot launch a games console without some games. So Nintendo have Mario, Zelda, a couple of core games that they always have when they're launching a new platform. And it's like the chicken and the egg. You can't have the platform without the games. You can't have the games without the platform. Because if you think about the Mario-type games, there's a very particular Nintendo-type game which is closely linked to the type of platform and the type of gamers that they go after. Because Nintendo is not the kind of hardcore gaming company. It's the company that goes after perhaps the people who just want to have fun, who want to pick up something and play a game. Not just the kids who perhaps are too young to get into the kind of hardcore gaming stuff, but people like me. I have a Nintendo Switch. I am not really interested in being a hardcore gamer, but I am interested in picking up a device, something that's easy to use and fun and relaxing, having a game, being able to play it on my terms, not taking over the family TV set, but when my wife is watching CSI or something, I can play on my Nintendo Switch. So think about Fabric as being a platform like the Nintendo Switch for a broader market. But also, because it's a platform, it is something that other people can build on. And this is something, like I said, that is not immediately obvious about Fabric yet, but it's something we've talked about and something that will become more obvious as time goes on. Because as Microsoft, we've launched Fabric with a core set of experiences. Think about Nintendo and Mario. Well, Microsoft has launched Fabric with the kind of Mario of the BI world, which is Power BI. But we don't want to keep Fabric as a platform just for ourselves. We want to build Fabric as an open platform that other people can build on top of. So we have a range of partners, and this range of partners was taken from a blog post that we published in November, I think, last year, who are also building their own solutions on top of Fabric. Fabric is an open platform. It has open APIs. It has all based on a common open data format. And companies like Esri and SAS and even Click and Informatica, they're all going to be building their own experiences that sit on top of Fabric. They'll be saving their data in one lake. They will be using the compute inside Fabric. It'll all be interchangeable with the Microsoft experiences. There may be some overlap as well, but we're making Fabric as an open platform, which kind of makes me think these ISVs are a little bit like Sonic, because maybe if you're kind of old enough to remember, you'll remember that Sega and Nintendo were deadly enemies, but nowadays, if you want to play Sonic the Hedgehog on the Switch, you absolutely can, because Nintendo have made it as a platform that other companies can sell their games for. And one other question that comes up perhaps all the time when I'm talking about Fabric is, what about Databricks? Now, Databricks is a trusted partner of Microsoft. We love Databricks. So this leads to confusion. Why is Microsoft trying to sell me Azure Databricks and Fabric? Where's the overlap? Where's the differentiation? And I would say, if you're thinking about Fabric to Databricks, you can say that it's like the Nintendo Switch to the Xbox. Because again, Databricks is there for the hardcore gamers, the people who really want to get their hands dirty. But in the grand scheme of things, that's actually a tiny number of users, a tiny number of very vocal users, people who go out there in the community, they love their platform, but they're very, very vocal users. Whereas the Switch users, the people we're aiming Fabric at, are the people who've got day jobs. They need to analyze data as part of their job, but they don't want to get their hands dirty with lots of technical details and configuring things. They want a platform that they can just pick up, turn on, and start analyzing data with as little hassle as possible. So think about Fabric as being the easy-to-use, friendly platform for the casual data analyst. There are going to be hardcore gamers who also have switches as well, because everybody loves to play those fun Mario games. But that, I think, is a kind of good comparison or a good way of differentiating Databricks and Fabric. Let's make another comparison. Because after the same types of conversations you have about Databricks, people kind of say, well, what about Synapse? What about all that stuff that you had before? What does Fabric mean for Synapse? I have to be very, very careful here. All through this presentation, I've had to tread very, very carefully. And I had to think very carefully about how I could compare Synapse and Fabric. And I came up with this. So, bear with me. Madonna is a legend. Incredibly successful and still touring even today and bringing in huge crowds. But I don't think we expect any more amazing new groundbreaking music from Madonna. We enjoy her greatest hits, but we can accept that Madonna is now maybe what you might call a heritage artist. Whereas if you make the comparison with Taylor Swift is hugely successful, at least as successful, if not more so, than Madonna, but is also generating lots of new music. The excitement with my daughters when there's a new Taylor Swift album is palpable. My oldest daughter, she stayed up till midnight to listen to the new Taylor Swift album when it became available on Spotify. So Synapse is like Madonna, the kind of heritage artist, still packing them in, still making lots of money, but the innovation, the new music, the excitement is coming from Taylor Swift. So if you're young and you're looking to the future, you can still appreciate Madonna, but you will probably be concentrating your attention on Taylor Swift for kind of driving things forward and doing the new, exciting things. One last comparison to make. Because there is one more question that I get asked a lot about partly because I'm a Power BI person, and partly because there are lots and lots of Power BI people out there. We spend a long time explaining what Fabric is and how it's a kind of new, exciting platform. And a lot of people who are using Power BI will say, that's great, but I don't want this yet. And, you know, are you kind of like forcing me to use Fabric? You know, is Fabric something new? Is it something kind of like scary? You know, I just want to carry on being a Power BI person. I don't want to, you know, do Fabric. And a lot of people think that their Power BI lives are going to change, which is not true. Because in a lot of ways, Power BI to Fabric is like this version of the rock to this version of the rock. Fabric is Power BI. Fabric is the Power BI service matured, with more things on it, more workloads. In the past, with the Power BI service, you could create reports and dashboards. You could do a bit of ETL with data flows, and you could do a little bit of kind of machine learning and stuff. Whereas now with Fabric, as soon as you turn Fabric on, it's bulked up. It's a lot more powerful. It's a lot more magnetic and successful. You can do proper enterprise-grade data warehousing. You've got Spark. You've got way more scalable ETL options. But it's still the Power BI service. It's still the Power BI service that you know and love. So if you're using Power BI today, don't be scared of Fabric. You know, you're already using Fabric because Power BI is Fabric. You just need to turn Fabric on to get hold of the new workloads. So Fabric is not something new and scary. It's just a mature, expanded version of the Power BI that you know and love today. Let's close it up. Hopefully what we found out about Fabric from this session is hopefully something new. We've learned that Fabric is as delicious as the fries you get in your Happy Meal, perhaps even better for you. It is as helpful and empowering as Clippy is in Office. It is as fun to play with as a Mario game on a Switch. It is as mega successful as Taylor Swift. And, you know, it's just an expansion of that kind of comfortable, friendly film star, The Rock, that you know and love today. So, even if you knew what Fabric was before, hopefully what I've done is tried to kind of make you aware that there are different aspects of Fabric that maybe you hadn't considered. And if you hadn't already started your Fabric trial and played around with it, I would like you to go away, go back home, and start a new trial and play with it in a new light. Understand what's new and what's interesting about Fabric and what it might mean for you and your organization. Thank you.
Chris, thank you very much for this keynote. I've just realized that I am a big fan of Madonna, and I need to consider to listen to Taylor Swift more. So, couple of logistic announcements. First of all, we've got Hoover application, so you should be using that. Just bear with me for 1 second. I need this one for one more point. So you need these ones to wear all the time because we've got this venue exclusively for us. And if you are not wearing, like me on the stage, the security has a full right to throw you out. Maybe to that fountain that is over here. But we also have like a little bit of improvement in terms of partying, because today there is a party. And please collect your wristbands, because the wristband will also allow you to be on these premises, like instead of batch today evening. So you can just leave your badge at the hotel and come over with the wristband, that orange one. If you don't have it, please go to Malvina at the desk where the backpacks are, or where all the gadgets are. Then you can collect it there. So in the application, there are feedback forms. And we need this feedback, and what we do usually after the conference, we gather together as an organizing committee, and we analyze all those comments and the points that you give us to improve this event, to make it much, much better. For instance, last year there were a few people saying that, oh, there is not enough non-alcoholic beer. Yes, you're going to have more non-alcoholic beer today. And our agenda is constructed in a way that the breaks between sessions are longer. The conference is not only about going to sessions, listen to experts, and expanding your own expertise. It's also about networking, talking to people, even to strangers. So if you're like, maybe you were sent by your employer here and you don't know anyone, but you can approach anyone else, because we are like, I don't know, medical practitioners. We do pretty much similar jobs, and we can connect in conversations because we probably have some, common subjects that we can talk about. So it's not going to be a problem unless you are those people from jokes about IT people, so you're only looking on your own shoes, yeah? But don't be like that. Look at other people's shoes. Okay, so we've got, as we said before, we got sponsors. So those sponsors, they also try to make this event attractive. So they have raffles, they have some competitions, and so on and so on. So they are also active part of this event. If you post anything on social media, you can use SQLDay hashtag. So then we are going to know, or we will find your posts on social media, and you can make this event even more famous than it is now. Then in Whova application, and this is especially for online users, and also for yourselves in here in Wrocław Conference Center, that there are feedback forms where you can feed in. There are also like these small meetings, announcements there. You can chat to anyone, either this is a person, online person, or somebody who is here. We've launched some sort of a gamification, and on the closing session, we are going to check who collected the biggest number of points, and that person is going to get something from us. So be active on that application. All of you should have, or your emails, they are registered in that application, and you should be able to find it. What else? There is, to make it even better, kind of a memorable event, we need your photos. You can upload these photos to Whova application, and we will select the best ones, and we will also award them. So those photos should be posted, let's say, until tomorrow lunchtime. Maybe a bit longer, and then we will review all of them as a kind of a jury and select the best ones, and we are going to give away some awards for best photos to make also to also have something to remember after this event. If you need any help, like if you have a problem with something, or don't know, you feel kind of a pressure from inside and you need to find a toilet, there are people in green t-shirts They are our helpers. These are our volunteers, and they know almost everything about this event. So please go approach them, ask them those questions which bother you, and then you'll get help from them. So the very, very, very important thing is, like, after today's last session, our tradition is to gather just between the conference center and this water attraction, which is on this side of the building, and we are gathering here to make a photo. We need as much of you as possible, and this is about 6 p.m. And straight after that, we are going to a multifunctional room, which is on the opposite side of that building, and then we're going to have our evening party tonight. So, I'd like to say I am happy to announce that we are starting SQL Day 2024. Thank you.